First time I heard Bryan Garris scream, I thought someone dropped a microphone into a garbage disposal. It was wild, violent, and honestly kind of amazing. But here's the thing, I didn't like it. At least I don't think I did. I mean, I'm pretty sure I didn't. And this is why I don't like Knocked Loose, even though I kinda do. So my first encounter with Knocked Loose felt like someone had turned on all the intensity dials in hardcore music up to Spinal Tap 11 and then just went ahead and ripped the knobs off. And everything they did hit me like a wrecking ball. The vocals sounded like an exorcism caught on tape. I expected something when I clicked on them, but not what I got, and I didn't understand the appeal. There's no melody to cling to, no groove to sink into. The band is like pure chaos unleashed on the listener, and to be honest, if I ever went to one of their shows, I'd probably show up wearing riot gear. Because if you look at what goes on at one of their shows, you see just incredible mayhem going on in the crowd. So I admire that kind of passion, but I didn't feel really drawn in. It was like watching a demolition derby, kind of fascinating from a distance, but I didn't really want to get any closer. Then I heard their latest album, You Won't Go Before You're Supposed To, and everything kind of changed. Suddenly, the chaos had shape, the noise started to take on emotion, and when I listened to Suffocate, their single that features Poppy, that's when I realized just how far this band had actually evolved. Poppy's performance added a surreal, almost industrial edge, and her voice cuts through the brutality of the band like a ghost in a factory. And it's a strange, beautiful clash of worlds that somehow works for me. This track showed the maturity of the band, but it also showed a mainstream dimension to what they do. Proof that Knocked Loose can evolve beyond the hardcore scene without losing their soul. And this is what really appeals to me about this band. Everything that they do is an attempt to grow further than where they were before, but at the same time, they stay very faithful to their core sound. And the production of their latest album has a ton of depth. The band is really loud and aggressive, but yet there's something about the way that they handled the production on this album that allows it all to breathe. And as far as Bryan Garris goes, that same voice that once kind of made me flinch now sounds to me like someone tearing their soul out for the sake of honesty and art. And it's rare for a band to stay this brutal and still evolve artistically. Knocked Loose has done something so far that I really think is cool, which is they're going through their growth without changing their trajectory. They're not losing their identity. They're getting smarter, they're getting darker, they're getting more musical, but they're not changing their basic essence. And there is a classic rock band that this reminds me of, and it's not Led Zeppelin, it's actually Black Sabbath. And I don't say that because both Black Sabbath and Knocked Loose are heavy bands. I say it because both bands explored the full realm of what was available to them given the tools they had. So what makes Knocked Loose really compelling to me right now is that they're so emotional. They're not just chasing technical perfection. They're not just using digital equipment to acquire a smooth sound. They're creating like a panic attack, a rhythm section that's alive and going crazy like a beehive. The lyrics are almost too personal to even be released to the public, and yet here we have them. And Bryan's vocals, like I said, they're not meant to sound good, they're meant to sound real. You can hear the exhaustion, the desperation, the spiritual angst, and it's something that can't be faked. And this is my one criticism of the band, if you could call it a criticism. It's more like an obstacle I see them having to overcome, which is how do you play and create at this level of intensity without burning out? So how far can they go at this extreme level of expression and authenticity before the well runs dry? So in a world that's filled with polished, hyper-produced music, especially heavy music, Knocked Loose is an open wound. And every generation seems like they have a band that's the end of the world, but this one is actually sounds like the beginning of a new world to me. Sabbath did this in the 70s, and Nirvana kind of did it in the 90s. I don't think that Knocked Loose sounds like Nirvana. I don't think that they sound like Black Sabbath. But I think that they have the similar element of shaking things up and moving them forward. So while I still can't listen to them in heavy rotation, I do listen to them. And when I do, I know what it's like to feel something raw and real, something that isn't trying to be liked, but just trying to be true. And this is something that I really like about Knocked Loose, and I hope you do too. So if you know this band and have heard them, let me know how you feel about them down in the comments.
Music Guru here, asking you to help us on our march to 10,000 subscribers.